Hi, everyone. Welcome to Orthopod. My name is Mo Bandari. I'm the editor-in-chief, and we have a very special follow-up podcast today, a podcast that for me was particularly important and dates back to early August of this year. We'll get into the details, but let me introduce again, if I could, friend and colleague, Dr. Fadi ZEN-EL-ABIDINE, who is an orthopedic spine surgeon, chief of orthopedic surgery working at the Najjar Hospital in Beirut, Lebanon. Fadi, welcome again, and so nice to see you.
Hello, hi, Mo. Thank you very much for this introduction.
So I wonder, Fadi, if you'd be kind enough just to remind those listening what happened in August that was particularly devastating in Lebanon. And then from there, I think it'd be wonderful to hear a little bit about what's happened since then.
Yeah, no, really, whenever I remember this day and this time, just we cry because it wasn't easy. It was the 4th of August when at 6 and 7 minutes p.m. a big explosion happened in the port of Beirut. So the explosion was massive to destroy a whole city. It destroyed not only the city, it destroyed 300,000 homes. So 300,000 people were homeless, and 5,000 to 5,300 persons were really injured. And when I say injured, it's not only injury, just like a small scratch. I'm talking about injury. Some people lost their eyes, their arms, their legs, their hands. And we had 200 persons who died. They were workers, they were young people. We have kids from all ages, of all ages. And despite this, we had, let's say, about 90% of the remaining people are really now on antidepressants. It was so devastating, and it was just like a big hole of hell opened, and to see what's inside. So what happened at this time, that all hospitals were in the area were damaged. We have like 3 university hospitals were totally damaged, and around 15 hospitals were damaged partially, especially having at this time, in 1 minute, having all these 5,600, 6,000 persons coming to hospitals with all their injuries at one point, and the hospitals already were just totally or partially destroyed. It wasn't easy to have all this together.
So at that time, I remember we touched base probably early in August, around maybe the 5th, the day after. And I remember at that point feeling very, very struck by just how serious it was and just how devastating things had been. And you described it very vividly. Yeah. At that time, you had told us that, well, you know, we don't need more people right now. We need supplies. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happened, like in terms of, you know, in a word, like I'm sure that, you know, there were supplies, and our group sent a little bit through Dr. Brad Petrazor and Dr. Dina Brooks and a few others through the Rotary Club locally here. What happened broadly? And, you know, maybe we can speak a little bit about, you know, the needs you continue to have, but what's come in so far, and how have you, what's happened? Because the challenge I think happens a lot, Fadi, is at the moment the world was listening, you know, and things happen. But as you know, news cycles switch and news cycles change, and then people move on. I'm hoping that you're getting all the resources you need. And today's follow-up is just to make sure that things are going in the right direction.
Yeah, well, what happened, just like, as I told you, you have all these injured people coming all together. Every hospital, you know, because you're in a hospital, and you know that you have some stocks to be used in 1 month you cannot put in hospital. So what we had in hospital totally depleted. So we lost in one day all what we have to cover the month or the few months coming. So, and some instruments and things for hospital drugs and medications and clothes and whatever you want for hospitals were destroyed in the port of Beirut. So part of them were destroyed. So we had some groups coming to help us at this point from the whole world. But we had, because of our political problem in Beirut and the corruption problems, so no government was helping our government. So they were helping NGOs to support people rebuilding their homes. And that's why it was a bit difficult, because whenever you say, okay, I know this NGO and this NGO will not cover the whole, the NGO will cover a group of people he knows. No one can take the place of the government. And that's why it was very difficult for us to survive. And because of the inflation we had, imagine we have 500% inflation in 1 year. It's wow. Just like a pity. So it was very difficult for us to buy new stuff or even to sustain or to maintain our machines, because all you know they need the support and parts we cannot have and buy these spare parts. They are, after the inflation, 400, 500%. It's crazy. You cannot think of buying any machine or any tool. And thanks for people like you and groups that are supporting hospitals and supporting people. And here I want to really thank you, and thanks Dr. Brad and Rotary and all people who helped, and Dina and everyone, because you help us, the hospital. And the most important thing that we received in the pallet for the hospital, we found love inside. It wasn't only gloves, it wasn't only covers, it was just like we felt like whenever you have someone in the family needs something, you just give him what you have. We found, I really was impressed, and it hit me hard when I saw some people putting half a box of gloves. They took the half for them and gave us the half. So it was really filled with love and like this humanitarian support. It was really human. It was not from the government giving government. It was people giving people, and giving with that love and support. And really, I really appreciate from everyone and everybody who supported us with anything, just like some drapes, some gloves, dressings. Really, it was just like someone wanted to help you with whatever they have at home. And this really mean a lot for us.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I guess since I'm the one speaking with you, I would say that it was in many ways exactly how you are portraying it. There was a sense of community and a sense of family. Yeah. I don't know, Fadi. I always say that, it's sad that it takes tragedy sometimes to make us all realize we're all humans and we're all part of we're all living on the same earth, and we all deserve the same degree of health and dignity and care. Maybe COVID in some ways, as you know, has taught us all that we are all vulnerable. We all need support. From my perspective, anyway, it was wonderful to be almost a messenger, right? I mean, you were kind enough to take amidst a crisis. You were kind enough to have a chance to speak with us, and at a minimum, we needed to spread the word locally. And I'm very happy that as I said, that that locally through McMaster, the Hamilton Health Sciences, and the Rotary and things like that locally help. But I do realize, maybe, that it's probably just the tip of what we call the iceberg on things you need. And I wonder if you could share with us what you foresee as the ongoing needs. And maybe again, another message to those who might be listening about how we can be most respectful and helpful to our friends in Beirut and Lebanon.
Yeah. Thank you for thinking this way, and really I appreciate this humanitarian approach and the human, let's say human relation, and we all need it, and COVID did a lot for us with this in this time with families and just reaching each other. So what really need, because of this inflation and difficulties in getting good products, we lost this capacity. Unfortunately, within 1 year, we have this inflation, and our money lost its value. So any product now, like when we talk about prostheses, plates, screws, that are expensive in general, and all these machineries, even though these are very, very difficult now for us, if anything is ruined, you have to keep it like it is. I give you an example, like what happened in Cuba. They still have these old machines because you cannot get the new ones.
Right.
And this is like 1 year ago, we had the latest technologies, and suddenly in 1 year, we lost everything. We cannot even think of maintaining these products and bringing their tools as spare parts. It's really difficult now.
So for example, Fadi, can you give examples of, so it sounds like implants are important, plates, screws, I suspect nails, external fixators, those sorts of things. In terms of machinery, what type of machinery are you speaking of specifically? You're talking about sort of the imaging machinery, the imaging or anesthetic machines? What are you?
Definitely now, there's when we talk like the monitors, plates, screws, I know in prosthesis is difficult because you need the whole set, the whole size. We know this. It's not that easy for us. Just like when we talk about electrodes, electrocauteries, and
yes.
all these EKG machine. I know.
Just basically, it seems like so many things. So at the hospital level, I mean, you recently posted on LinkedIn through your own site, sort of the devastating pictures of the hospital itself.
Yeah.
How much, I mean, in the last several months, what's happened? I mean, has any have those pictures looked different now? Have you been able to rebuild in the hospital, or are sections still basically just blocked off because they've been so badly damaged?
The first one, the one in Najjar hospital I work with all the time, we rebuilt the facade now. It's better because there was not internal damage. So it is fine now. But the Rosary Hospital, the Rosary Sisters Hospital, I worked there too. It was, like you saw, it was totally destroyed, and they had to stop totally. And now the hospital is open again in the operating room and 1-day surgery because they fixed 1 floor. But the remaining 9 floors are totally destroyed, not even a window, not even a bed, not even anything. So you're thinking to how to build all this. Where we talk hospital, we're not talking about hundreds of beds and hundreds of everything. So it's like they have 10 lifts. They are working on 2 lifts now. Intensive care units totally destroyed. So it's massive. The destruction is massive. Some NGOs are helping. Some governments, like in the Kuwaiti, I guess, government, they said they will fix 2 floors. People are helping, and but not governments, because there is total blockade on our government and because of the political problems. So, but people are really hit by this sanction. So it's we're having people like you and helping their groups.
Yeah, and the one thing
the people they know.
Yeah, and Fadi, the one thing I did note was that it took quite a bit of time for you to actually send us photographs that you had received the information. Obviously, we intended a number of slates to go directly to you in the hospital. Can you speak a little bit to how long it's taking? So, for example, if we were to act again, through processes, what do you think happens? Because once they land on the ports, right? Once they land in Beirut, there seem to be quite a few barriers to you accessing them.
It was very difficult because the police need to check who's taking them, where they're going to, how they're going to where distribute them, who's the agent. They are afraid that some people go and sell them.
Oh.
Because we had this problem with the government. Like if you give the government like these 200 notebooks, you will lose them. You will find them in the market on the shelves. So this is what's happening. And they didn't want this, especially the army, they didn't want to see this happening again. So if you send me or send the Caritas or any or Rotary, anyone, just you're sending them goods, okay, they want to see these goods going to hospitals, wherever they are intended to go, not to be sold in the market.
Understood. Okay, got it. Okay, that's extremely helpful. Well, listen, I'm very, very happy that we had a chance to reconnect. I'm particularly happy to see that the intended supplies did reach you, and I will certainly be continuing to promote everything we can. So it's pretty clear to me from your statements today that we are far from back to normal, and I think the psychology, Fadi, is we have to continue messaging this to the world that the world cannot and should not be continuing to move on. We should be also remembering that we have many, many friends in all parts of the world who need our help, and I think this follow-up is just a small reminder, to connect you, to the people out there who I think genuinely want and wish the best for our colleagues and friends, in Beirut.
Thank you, Mo. And you said these goods reached me. Yeah, they reached me, and my role was to give them. I was a messenger, and I gave them to the hospitals in Najjar and Rosary Sisters, and they put them in the operating room. And they thank you for all efforts you did and all the colleagues to make this happen.
Yeah, and again, I speak on behalf of all those who genuinely wish the best and have done a lot of heavy lifting, so to speak, on mobilizing help, and help is what we need, and we have to continue to be, I think, as you're suggesting, mindful that we are far from over, we are far from at a point of success. So we'll continue to to siren the need to support our friends, and I do look forward, Fadi, to hopefully a day not that long from now where we're able to sit side by side somewhere, whether it's a cafe having a coffee, whether we're in Lebanon or whether we're in another part of the world together. But I do look forward to that opportunity to shake your hand.
Thank you.
Mindful that the vaccine is out soon, and we'll hopefully be able to shake hands, or at least connect, someday soon. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for everything.